Welcome. Okay, got it. Okay. Thank everyone for being here this morning, and everyone's having a great day. Barbara, it's great to see you here with us.
Thank you.
Okay, the mission, we know our mission of United Parks is one is the citywide alliance of neighborhood park-based playground and garden advocates dedicated to creating, maintaining, and activating open spaces for the benefit of Newark residents and communities. Our vision, the vision of United Parks is empowered and sustainable park, playground, and garden communities that offer safe spaces for artistic expression, economic advancement, educational programs, environmental appreciation, and stewardship, healthy living, and spiritual renewal for all ages and groups. Our values are integrity, inclusiveness, loyalty, effectiveness, and sustainability. Our programs are Park Rangers Summer Environmental Enrichment Program, National Night Out, Annual Parks Playground and Garden Celebration, and our Small Grants Program. We're going to have our moment of silence, our meditation right now. If you take a moment, take a few minutes for that. And thank you, everybody, for that moment. We have a few people on here that just going to kind of briefly remind us. Barbara, what area do you live in? What area do you live in? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I live in Bloomfield, but the garden is in the Central Ward.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. I didn't realize you lived in Bloomfield. Okay. In Central, are you over by the mansion? Is that where you are?
The mansion.
The mansion.
It's by Court. That's on Court Street, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, we're sort of down. If you draw a line diagonal, we could be on the diagonal to that by Kenny Street, West Kenny.
Okay, you're on the other side. Okay. I just so I kind of knew what area you are, what part of.
Right.
What it is. Okay. All right. And Sister, where did she go? Sister Dina, you're where again?
I'm in Newark, right across from Bethesda Hospital. That's my own garden. And then I also have a pollinator garden that I installed on Hawthorne and Chadwick Avenue.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds great. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I'm gonna turn it over to Carla. I'm gonna turn it over to Carla J right now. Carla and Tiffany.
Okay, thank you. Today is a big day for us. Today we're unveiling our new website and social media presence. And this is a milestone for us. You know, some people might think, well, what's the big deal about a website? You know, in this day and age, why are you celebrating that? But when I was on this call earlier, and just Donna and I were on the call. Donna was mentioning that she has her granddaughter with her, and she was talking about how inquisitive she is. And then when we were talking about the website, Donna said, this is a milestone. And I was thinking about how we watch our young children reach certain milestones, right? So Donna's granddaughter is walking now. And I commented, well, now that she can get around, it's a whole different situation. Mm-hmm. So again, this is a milestone for us. Another way to think about that is, as with young children, they discover things that are just so fascinating to them, right? And it can be basic things, But that doesn't matter, because even if it's a basic thing, it's a new thing for them. It's a milestone for them. So this is a milestone for us, and we're going to celebrate having reached it. We thank you for coming out to be with us as we celebrate and start to share this information with other people. And before I go on, I see that Dr. A is joining us. So welcome and thanks for coming out today. I also want to thank Ms. Tiffany Salas, who's been working with us. Tiffany has her own company called Shafani PR, which is part of a group of companies that she has under the Shafani Brands label. And she's been an excellent person to work with on this project and has brought a lot of energy and youth and inspiration to, at least to me. I'm an older person and I'm not really active on social media. So it was really a pleasure to work with her on this project. So what we are going to do is to walk through the website and then through the social media, and at the same time fill in some information about who we are as United Parks is One, where we've been, and where we see ourselves going. So it's a mix between, or a mix of, the unveiling of this new presence, as well as an update on who we are as an organization. So to get started, I'll share my screen with the website to show you the website.
Okay.
Dr.
So is
Carla,
everyone?
you could click on the logo and that'll be the homepage.
Oh, okay, yeah, I moved ahead, thank you. So this is the homepage. The first page you would see when you go to unitedparks1.org. And before I go further with the information that's on the page, I'll ask Tiffany if you have any comments to share about the general design and feel of the website. Tiffany?
Sorry, I was muted.
That's okay.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Tiffany Salas. This is a website that I would say myself and Dr. Carla created together, just because she was the foundation of the values and the vision and the principles that you all stand on. And I was really able to utilize the information that you all have already to put together what we think is a super clean site. So I guess Dr. Carla will venture through the site and I'll, I guess, give extra talking points. We worked really hard on it, so we hope you love it. And thank you for your time this morning.
Okay, thanks, Tiffany. And if there's something you want to add as we go through, just jump in. So as I said, when you come to the site, you'll land on this homepage. And we kept this homepage really basic. It has our name, of course, and then it goes into our vision, which Elizabeth mentioned as we were starting the meeting. So the vision lets you know what we're working toward. If we're successful, what would the world look like? Well, if we're successful, then what we would see is empowered and sustainable park, playground, and garden communities that offer these things: safe spaces for artistic expression, economic advancement, educational programs, environmental appreciation and stewardship, living, and spiritual renewal for all age groups. So that's why we exist. That's what we're working towards. And the way we do that is by being a citywide alliance of neighborhood-based park, playground, and garden advocates dedicated to creating, maintaining, and activating open spaces for the benefit of Newark residents and communities. And it's important to us to do that with integrity. And for us, integrity means being true to these values. And integrity is one of those, actually, one of our values. So we value integrity, inclusiveness, And by integrity, we want to be honest, honorable, and transparent in the way we treat people and in the way we do our work. Inclusiveness, we want our programs, events, and procedures to include perspectives, passions, and talents of all community members. Loyalty, we want to demonstrate commitment to each other, to the community, and to the work. Effectiveness, we want to be attentive to producing the results and achieving this vision that we laid out earlier on this page. And then we also value sustainability. We want the organization to be sustainable in terms of advancing the long-term empowerment and well-being of park, playground, and garden communities. So that's who we are, and we lead with that right there on the home page. From there, we have information about the organization. So under About, you'll see history, programs, park groups, sponsors, and partners. So let's start with history. We thought it was important for history to show some of the people who have made this happen. So these are folks who were at a United Parks as One monthly meeting back in around, I would think this may be around 2015 or 16. We were meeting down on Park Place at the Trust for Public Land office. And just out of curiosity, can any of you name all of the folks who are in this photo? Who wants to give it a stab?
Okay, we have Jerry Gant.
Right here.
Doris.
Doris.
Donna. I don't remember. The brother in the back that was from Peace Playground. I can't think of his name.
Mr. John, Jeffrey John.
Okay, Jeffrey John. We have Pat Cobb Latham, Renatha, myself, Tariq. The little boy with the khakis is the son of John. This is the purple shirt. Oh, what is her name? But she came from Clinton Avenue. That's her son. And Deacon.
Deacon is here.
Deacon, yeah, this is Deacon. He's one of our founding members. And this other.
That's Deacon James Crawford.
Deacon James Crawford. See, I can. And the other two. Oh gosh, the other striped shirt. He's from Louise A. Spencer. I'm not good with names. I can tell you where they're from.
Okay, Donna, can you add in and round out that list?
Mr. Anderson is in the back.
Mr. Anderson. Who's in the vertical stripe? Who's that?
I don't know who that is. I think he was new. I believe that was the guy that came in that was talking about catering. I believe he only came to one visit.
Okay, see that he
Met him
doesn't.
in Home Depot. Came to the meeting.
And then what about the young lady with the purple shirt?
What's her name, Doc?
So June and I just talked about her. All I can say is that she came from LA Spencer, lived Stratford Place. She's now volunteer at NJPAC.
Okay.
And I can't remember her name, but she was a part of Friends of Jesse Allen Park.
I don't think I've ever known her name. I've seen her through the schools, through the parks. I don't think I've ever known her name.
Yep. That's
So
everybody.
these are some of the folks who were involved in the organization back at that time. And below that, what we do is give a brief history of the organization's founding in 2008 to the early support that we received from Trust for Public Land in terms of staff support, mainly for Donna's time to work with United Parks as One, as well as financial assistance for events like cleanups, health fairs, fun days, and other activities at the park. The annual celebration was a key area that Trust for Public Land provided funding with early on and continues to provide support for. And also the Park Rangers program is funded by the Trust for Public Land. And through that support, United Parks as One has been able to, even without a web page and a presence on social media, gain recognition within the city Some of that dates back to the educational work that United Parks as One did to make people aware of the importance of the Open Space Trust Fund, which was voted on by Newark residents. So that's a part of our history. Next, we talk about programs, starting with the park rangers. And here's a picture of park rangers heavily at work, focused on, or intently focused on planning. It looks like maybe an outing somewhere or some work they're going to be doing that day. The Park Rangers Summer Environmental Enrichment Program, again, is funded by the Trust for Public Land and operated in partnership with the Newark One Stop Career Center. The youth are part of the city's Summer Youth Employment Program, and they work in a park during non-COVID times, doing things around horticulture and gardening and maintenance, and also receiving life skills related to mindfulness, yoga and journaling, and management. They also have opportunities to receive career advice from guest speakers and take field trips to environment-related sites within the local area. Then we go on and talk about National Night Out. United Parks is one of the first community-based organizations in Newark to host National Night Out. Here we have a picture of National Night Out at, I believe this is Mildred Helms Park. And you can see people enjoying themselves all the way from the bouncy house to probably a food stand over here and other activities, hula hoop. So National Night Out is an opportunity for the community to come out and have a safe, fun experience in the park with entertainment, games, refreshments, and the point of this nationwide event is to build better relationships between communities and public safety entities.
Excuse me, Dr. Carla.
Sure.
I also wanted to add a point about the picture. It was more from like a deeper, I guess, a deeper interpretation about Black mothers as well. So if you notice the young lady in the corner, I think she's a mom of one of the children who were playing outside based off the other pictures. Her actually supervising and taking care, a lot of times when they draw attention to inner city and young mothers, they like to paint a certain picture. So not only does it show Black joy, but it also shows that we understand how to take care of our children as well. So it was several layers and meanings of why I chose this picture instead of some of the other activity pictures as well. So thank you, Dr. Carla.
Thank you, Ms. Tiffany, for sharing that information. And another thing I'll share from this year is that I was speaking to a woman who lived in the area of the park, but had not been in there because she didn't think it was a safe space to be. So what United Parks as One is about is opening and activating those spaces so that people can enjoy them and feel safe when they go there. And so we're working towards being able to do that more and more. Next, we have the United Parks as One Small Grants Program. This picture is from an event that also was at Mildred Helms Park this summer, where two women in the community applied for a grant to have Friday fun days. And that was a time when it could be open for children and families. And we had some activities there for them to engage in, like this table that was set up by Fallon Davis from STEAM Urban. And here she had some arts and crafts activities where young people could go and create their own designs. And that was a big hit. So with our small grants program, we offer grants ranging from $200 to $500, primarily to volunteer-led groups that don't have access to other funding sources. to do things, events and activities in parks, playgrounds, and gardens. This year, for example, we also provided a grant to the Garden of Life for a greenhouse. We also have the United Parks is One annual Parks, Playgrounds, and Gardens celebration. The last few years when we were able to gather in person, we featured entertainment from the Arts High Jazz Band, and here they are playing away. You can almost hear the music coming from the photo. So each year we celebrate the local open space advocates and other community leaders. And at this event we have dinner, information tables, live performances, and then we also give out awards in the areas of art, community service, education, innovation, partnership, and then more recently we started a youth award. I need to add that there as well. And so those are our primary programs. And then next we have information about the park groups and parks. So we have the Friends of Jesse Allen Park, and information about the park, especially its history and the role community members played in the redevelopment of the park. We have Mildred Helms Park Resurrection Committee and similar information about the park. Mildred Helms Park is located behind what's now Achieve Clinton Hills Charter School, used to be Clinton Avenue School, and it's 3.3 acres in size. Jesse Allen, I'm going to scroll back up, about 7 acres in size. So we give information about Mildred Helms Park and the role of Mildred Helms Park Resurrection Committee, again, in the revitalization of that park. And then the Friends of Nat Turner Park. Nat Turner Park is the largest city-owned park in Newark. It's 9 acres in size. And again, through the Trust for Public Land, community was involved in the design of the park and also in the creation of some of the artwork that's at the park. There's a tile exhibit, for example, on the amphitheater that was done by community members that's mentioned here in this mosaic project that was led by artist Catherine Hagel. And also Jerry Gant designed the artwork that's at the entrances of Nat Turner Park. Okay. And then as far as sponsors and partners, we share information about our various sponsors and partners, and also express our gratitude towards them. Right now we have 3 sponsors: the Trust for Public Land, which is our primary sponsor in terms of funding and other support. Historically, right now, Victoria Foundation has kind of taken over the the role of providing most of our funding. And that funding comes to us through the Community Foundation of New Jersey, which acts as our fiscal agent. And then we've got a list of partners we've worked with over the years. We're still adding to this, but this gives you an idea of some of the groups we've worked with in the area to carry out all this work that we've been doing. And this list is completed. And then we have a page where we ask people to connect with us. We give our email address as well as our postal address and how they can reach us on various social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Still to come will be a section about joining United Parks as One and becoming a member. So people will be able to join online and pay their dues. Dues are $20 a year. And for 2022, which is what the membership payments now will be for, the dues will be used to support the small grants program that I mentioned. And so by becoming a member, people will be actively involved in supporting the work that we're able to do, and will be able to see where their dues payments are going. And as I said, the dues page on the website will allow them to be able to, or allow you and anyone else to be able to become a member online and make your $20 payment online, or either mail it to us at that address. Let's see. Also to come will be a donate button where you can make donations to United Parks as one. So we're in the process of linking all of that to a PayPal account, which would receive those payments. What I will do is stop sharing my screen now. And next, Ms. Tiffany will show what this all would look like on a mobile device. But before we do that, are there any questions or thoughts or comments?
So, Dr. Carla, when you all are doing the linking, you may want to investigate whether you can register with Amazon as well. That's something that I have suggested to some of our community partners, because if you register with Amazon, when people shop at Amazon, they can in fact, that Amazon Smile program allows whether it be 0.2% or, but a percentage goes to their chosen charity. And it's a way of people doing donations while they're doing what they're doing anyway.
So
and we know, based on Amazon's spreadsheet, that a lot of people are shopping at Amazon.
A percentage of what they purchase?
Yes.
Goes, okay, and then they can designate where they want it to go.
Yeah, so Amazon runs an Amazon Smile program. You do have to, the agency does have to register for it, but right now there are a lot of churches, a lot of foundations and stuff, and so people, when they're shopping at Amazon, they're offered that Amazon Smile option. And I think I'm not certain, I could go in and check, about it's supposed to be 2% of everything you spend on Amazon goes to the charity you've chosen. So whether it's a church, a foundation, it could be United Parks as one. So in addition to the $20 dues, you will get, and Amazon sends you the check quarterly.
Yes.
So.
Sounds nice. Thank you. Any other thoughts, comments, suggestions before we go on?
It looks great. I love it. It looks great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Tiffany, so if you could show us the mobile view and then shift to the mobile, I'm sorry, the social media platforms. And then after that, we'll talk a little about where United Parks as One is heading.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Carla. So I think you all can see. Let me just make sure here. Okay, yes. So this is the mobile view for the new website. You'll see it's the same thing Dr. Carla just went over, just in mobile perspective. So we also wanted to make sure that we chose a bright color for the case of inverting the colors for accessibility. And we also wanted to make sure the margins were clean as well. This page actually has some special effects going on in the background. The yellow is transferring into green, and it's becoming a gradient as you go down the page here. So I thought that was a cool effect. And if you see here at the end of each page, it's going to read info@unitedparksisone.org, just in case someone or the person who's viewing the website doesn't want to go to the next page, they can have your information on each page for contact purposes. And
Can you say a little more about what you meant by inverting the colors for accessibility?
oh yes, so I'll go back. So what I mean by inverting the colors for accessibility, during this process, we were able to speak briefly at the beginning of working with you all with Ms. Crystal Allen from Eyes Like Mine, and she noted some key points for the community that needs certain accessibility features. So we wanted to make sure everyone is able to access the website and be able to use it functionally. With that. My hotspot is working overtime. Just close out some pages here. Okay. So each of the pages you'll be able to access from the list, which is here in the corner, very clean. You also have the United Parks is One logo. We'd like to embed that image and associate it with the organization each time. So it's going to be up here on each page while the viewer is perusing the website. And it speaks of the same information, nothing's changed. Same here. So they're getting all of that information in mobile view. And of course, if they need to contact you. So I like the logos in mobile view because they immediately pop up as soon as you get to the page. And that's another feature that I added on the back end when creating the site. So it's just in your face, making sure you remember, which is great for marketing purposes. Okay, and then the connect page. And that's the end there. So Dr. Carla also mentioned that, I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. Dr. Carla also mentioned that we'll be on social media. So I was able to post our first post to let people know that we were going live. I am going to share the Instagram page, or the Twitter page rather.
Yeah, I saw that.
So while Miss Tiffany brings that up, again, I mentioned that we're celebrating this, which in some ways may seem basic, in some ways not. Remember one time when I lived in Atlanta, I was walking by City Hall, which is on a slight hill, and I saw a woman walking with a little child, couldn't have been much older than 1.5, and the child was just walking up that hill. And I said, oh my, she's a good walker. And the mother said, oh, thank you. So again, basic things we celebrate, and it's helpful for us not to take them for granted and to acknowledge progress. So that's what we're doing.
If there is an Instagram page, is there a Facebook page that is linked to that as well? Because I know Facebook, you can as you become more social media savvy, you can leave like clips and recordings. You can even, like when you're having the I think Ron Arthur did it when you all were having the National Night Out. If you have a Facebook account, you can actually sometimes when you're out on these outdoor outreach activities, do a bit of live video and post it there so that people always see what's happening and where you are in the community.
I don't know. I'm not that savvy, Doc.
That's Miss Tiffany.
No, but I don't know. So Tiffany, I was is there a Facebook page attached to this?
Oh, I think you're muted. You're not showing up as muted, but
Okay, sorry. I was saying yes, Dr. Francis Shearer. Dr. Carla will be in charge of that after this 4-week process. I am going to more so be hands-on with Dr. Carla and whomever would be leading social media so that you understand the process of gaining followers, engagement, awareness, and making you savvy during this process. Because the point of me coming on board is not to just do this project, but it's to make sure that you have the tools to help you progress. So I'm going to gather some followers for you all because we're going to follow all of the organizations that you partner with. We're going to blast people by email. We also have a press release that will be going out on PR Newswire because I'm a member of PRSA. And I want to make sure the patch has it, Tap Into has it, so that we gain engagement and social media awareness and also have people visit our site. And also become interested in the programs that you offer. So we want to just drive all that traffic back to the site, and then from the site they can access our social media. But to answer your question, Dr. Francis Shearer, Dr. Carla will be in charge of all of that, and it will be linked to Facebook and Twitter.
And then last thing, as you brought that up, so Miss Liz knows I'm shameless with that. Dr. Carla, can you please add us as one of your partners so that way you all can follow us? And for sure, I'll make sure our Facebook crew follows you as well. And because Miss Liz already posts stuff for us sometimes on our page.
Yes.
She keeps us in the loop. Mm-hmm. But since you have that. And one other thing I wanted to suggest, your logo, is there a story or a narrative, let's say? Because I'm sure there is. I know you ladies so well. A narrative behind your choice of logo. Because I know like once or twice with some of the other really good, hardworking community foundation, the logo was like the result of a competition with this young boy, and the yellow represents something, and the way the trees are planted. Is there a narrative behind the logo? I'm just asking.
I don't think there is. I think it was just chosen because it was there. Am I correct, ladies? I think that's something that Renata just chose.
Yeah, Renata did United Parks as one.
I'm sorry, Kirk?
Renata did United Parks as one's logo.
Yes, and it just stayed.
And Jesse Allen was a combination. The only one that was really, really Mildred Helms, Resurrection Committee, came up with their own theme. And Nat Turner, when you guys worked with Jerry.
Jerry, yes.
And so I think at this point, even though there isn't one, this may be an opportunity to look at it and see, not change it, notice I'm not saying it, but look at it and see what the logo represents, because that's from what I hear of Tiffany, and that's a great plan, is that it's to sort of embed that in the memory. So usually if there's even a little teeny tiny line of story behind it, it sticks a little better. That's, now I will shut up, right, Miss Liz?
But now I got to come up with what the narrative was. She was the one
Yeah,
that
and
did
she could probably do that,
Right.
why she chose those colors and what she was trying to capture
Right.
in terms of the feel or what
Yep.
was shown. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yep.
Agreed, yeah.
And the colors, yeah. Okay, Miss Tiffany, any more to say about, well, I guess we haven't started yet. I don't know if you can't remember if we started talking about the Twitter page or
We
not.
have we have not, Dr. Carla. It looks like it's still loading, but as you can see, we have 2 tweets thus far. We have United Parks says the number 1 for United Parks is 1 because of the character spacing on Twitter. So I just basically highlighted what you all are about here and the bio or the profile narrative. I list, first of all, I joined last year. I've been on this project with Dr. Carla for some time now due to the pandemic. And it started as one thing, but we were able to progress into something else. So I place where you are, I geotag you. Geotagging is great for United Parks is 1 because you are a community organization in Newark. And then I also list the website. And when you click that, it'll go straight to the website. And then this is today's post or today's tweet because we're on Twitter. We are going live. Check out our website. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube too. So I'm directing the traffic and further engagement from this profile to our other profiles as well. Dr. Carla created this to let people know what's happening today and to find out more information about the website and our profile launches.
We have 2 followers.
Oh yes, we have 2 followers. I think it's Pink Dragon, the Chief Chick, Miss Linda Street, and I think myself. So if you want to follow, United Park says 1. If you search for us on Twitter, it would be United Parks is 1 spelled out, but our tag as @United Parks as the number 1 because of character spacing. And I'm just going to pull up the other page here. Give me 1 second. I'll stop sharing this screen.
And we pretty much stay away from using just UPAO because there is actually another organization called UPAO. It's some international organization. I can't even remember offhand what they do, but we want to keep our name at the forefront and avoid any confusion with that other organization that has the same acronym.
Okay.
Tiffany, what about #urban_green?
What did you say?
#urban_green. Because there's a lot of chatter around urban greening and urban spaces and
Oh, urban green. Okay, I didn't understand you. Urban greening. Urban parks or something?
well, urban green means urban greening.
Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying now.
Yes, thank you, Doctor, for that. Dr. Carla, we went over a group of hashtags. Hashtags are for social media profiles, for those of you that don't know, for Twitter, for Instagram, they're mainly used. They're also used on other platforms that carry GIFs or pictures and images, things of that sort. So we are
What is
here
this?
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Ah.
This is YouTube. So we have no subscribers yet, but we just started. So that doesn't mean keys to success, or I know that we have some videos on the back end that we haven't published as of yet. But keys to success, the other partners that you deal with, some of them are on YouTube. So once we subscribe to them, they'll bring followers over to us, and we'll also enhance our chances to be shown to other organizations in the algorithm. The algorithm is just like a computer bot that basically tells people what they're gonna watch. In this case, in this matter, YouTube. So we're gonna click here where it says manage videos. These are all the unpublished videos.
Oh my
So,
God, there's a bunch of videos.
yeah, these are all the unpublished videos. We wanted to show you all first, you know, because we're a team here. So this is one of our first videos that we decided we're going to have up. So I'll just make it big here. Is it grainy for you all? Is it grainy?
Because something is wrong.
It's,
For me, 'cause
it's
I don't
not
see anything.
showing.
I
Yeah.
don't see anything.
United Parks is One Park Rangers Summer Environmental Enrichment Program, sponsored by the Trust for Public Land.
I hear it, but I don't see it.
We don't see it.
And love.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Dr. Carla?
Oh, I said I hear it, but I don't see it. And I
Yeah.
see Dina also wrote in the chat that she doesn't
Oh,
see
they don't see
anything.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna share the screen again for you all.
What did I do? What did I do?
On my mobile, I was just enjoying Renata and some people having a great time at a
they were there.
2016 event.
What's it? There's Shoes 2016, 16, 17. Jerry Gant.
Sorry, can everyone see this page?
The wording, yes.
Yes.
Learning and love, yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And this is the video that you heard a few moments ago. This is what it would look like. These are just the back end details, but this is what it's going to look like on YouTube.
United Parks is One Park Rangers Summer Environmental Enrichment Program, sponsored by the Trust for Public Land. Join us for 6 weeks of learning and love. The Grace West Senior Housing Complex. Youth were mentored all summer long by the seasoned Rangers. United Parks is One is a 6-week summer environmental enrichment program in partnership with the Trust for Public Land and Newark One-Stop Career Center. This program exists to teach high school and college youth between the ages of 14 and 21 the importance of environmental stewardship, as well as caring for the community in which they live. The best greenhouse. Rangers learn different ways to grow food besides planting in large gardens. Beth Israel Wellness Center. Rangers are given an awesome opportunity to cook with greens harvested directly from the Beth greenhouse. Environmental geology with Rutgers University. whole farm. The rangers learn a specific technique called sheet mulching. This technique nurtures the soil and replaces existing areas of vegetation, eliminating the need to remove unwanted plant material. Signature project. This year's signature projects focus had an immense amount of input from the Grannies, youth from the Boys and Girls Club, volunteers, and the Rangers themselves. The final product landed on these two, spoken word and an artistic expression through painting. Greater Newark Conservancy. The
Okay, I'm just gonna stop it there because it's about a 4-minute video, but that's something that would tie, that would be a video that would, a visual that would tie all of what we said on the website back to a visual and then having the same information on the website. So it's the same information across the board. We just wanna showcase it in different ways. So this is another way to do it. Showcasing your monthly meetings, which you all talk about, the information that you have and the knowledge that you have to spread through the community. And a visual is how you stimulate people wanting to see more. So this is why we chose YouTube as another platform to be on. I'm gonna stop sharing that now. And, oh, thank you, Ms. Dina.
No, it's really good. It's really good, Tiffany. Is the YouTube live yet?
The YouTube will be live after the meeting, and I'll just have to go over a few more details on the back end with Dr. Carla to make sure everything is consistent, all the information.
We can't hear you. You're on mute. There you go.
It keeps doing that, so I thank you very much. So I'm here on Instagram. This is our page. If you see, we have a higher following on Instagram, which is a good thing. We have 39 followers and we're following 39 people. So that means everybody that we're following is also following us back. And they're going to see this as a first post because we don't have many followers. And so we don't have to fight as hard with the algorithm. And we also list here in our profile that, you know, you're a community organization, so people know right off. We have United Parks is One written out, so that's your tag if you want to follow, if you're on Instagram, at United Parks is One. Not the number 1 this time, but it written out because we had enough character spacing and length to include the entire name. And we have a first post too. And it basically is the same information. We got 1 like so far. It's the same information that we posted on Twitter. And I'm not sure if this monthly meeting will be posted, Dr. Carla, on YouTube, but it'll all be consistent across the board.
So the other,
Mhm.
I was just going to say the other videos that we have available at this point on YouTube are 2 videos from our last 2 annual celebrations, which are held down at Express Newark. And then we also have our last 4 monthly meetings, July, August, September, and October. And then we can post this one after that. So far that's what we have in terms of videos on YouTube.
So Dr. Carla, are you all editing the videos? Because we have a group that posts videos and their social media person said in the interest of transparency, you're posting the meeting, but you may want to go in and edit out and clean it up so that it also represents a certain professional and community branding. It's not that you're hiding anything, but there are sometimes there are pauses or sometimes there's discussions off topic that that could remain for those who were present. Because whatever goes on YouTube is sort of there in perpetuity.
Mhm. So
That's
we
a-
may have said something that we shouldn't have said. Is that what you're saying? That we might want to edit out, Doctor?
Yeah, something that you shouldn't have said, or just something that isn't really relevant. If let's say this meeting is about the launch of this wonderful project, which I have to give everybody claps for. But let's say all of a sudden I started talking about Thanksgiving food and what we're gonna cook and who can come to my house and who can go to Dr. Carla's house, and that's away from what the focus of this meeting was. So you may want to edit out that bit.
And we
And-
might, lately our meetings have been theme oriented. For example, the meeting last month was about the Garden of Life. And so we may want to edit out the things that came before that, which were the introductory kinds of things, and have what we put up focus on that presentation and the other ones rather than our full monthly meeting. And that's just a matter of focusing what's there, what's being presented, and not including things that may not be of interest to the average person who may be coming to receive that information. I think
and also remembering that YouTube is a window, and it's like the window into your house. Nobody knows everything that's going on in your house, but we make sure that the curtains and the blinds are pretty. So when they look up, they say, wow, nice.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I don't know what I'm gonna use Instagram. I forgot what my handle is.
Oh.
Oh wow. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the more likes, the merrier. You know, the more follows, the merrier. That's how we also beat the algorithm or the computer bot. So the more engagement, the more comments at the bottom of our pictures. Oh, I'm so excited, or even a thumbs up. You don't even have to write anything. Just it increases our chances to be seen on people's profiles more. And getting the word out, getting the information out. So right now we don't have Facebook because we got locked out. So we have some issues to take care of on the back end, but our name will be United Parks is One, and it will be a page that you can follow and chat on and share. If you are on Facebook, you can also tag us. So we're tagged on a few of events that you all were able to sponsor. Some people had posted flyers and things of that sort. So we were tagged on the back end. Because I didn't have proper approval to share those things, I just maybe shared them in the stories and, just to say, okay, we tried to support in that way. We only have a few followers anyway, but we will increase that to about 200 by the end of this 4-week process. I told Dr. Carla that I will walk her through everything. If she needs help, I'll be right here. I am going to be posting with you all for the next 4 weeks. And then after that month, you guys got it on your own unless you want to keep me on board. I am very much interested in joining the organization because I love everything that you all stand for. So you will have a new member. And, if I can help in any way, then we can work from there. But Dr. Carla has sold me on the organization. And because it is within a community that I'm from, I definitely want to help see it grow and flourish. And I have seen all of the things that you do outside of working with Dr. Carla. I came to one of your annual celebrations with Miss Linda Street because I am sometimes her PR. So it is super exciting to be able to work with an organization within my community because this is something I've been asking God for. I've been wanting to do more outreach. For those of you that do not know me, or you maybe never met me, or maybe you've seen me. I always look different. Like I got my turban on today. I have my glasses on. But I am on the back end of a lot of different things. I have built websites for certain people. I have done, curation of events for certain things. I am an artist at the basis of everything, but this is my day job. So I decided to incorporate everything into what I do. I have experience from Wall Street at an early age. So I left that life, and now I'm just focusing on arts related things, community related things, because that's where my passion is. So again, I'm super excited to be working with all of you, and I really hope that you all love the presentation. We worked very hard on it.
We do. It's really good. It is good.
Thank you very much. And I also would like to know if you all have any questions for me specifically.
What's the key hashtag? Because I know when we launched our at our WJBH, when we launched one of our programs, they asked us for one full week every time we posted to include this hashtag. So I don't know if you all are doing something similar, but please let me know what the hashtag is so I can trickle that into some of the stuff that I do.
Thank you very much. Dr. Carla and I came up with our weekly hashtags in order to engage our audiences on the social media profiles. So it would be Wellness Wednesdays, because we also speak to wellness, mind, body, soul. And then people would engage by either posting pictures of maybe something that they're eating for the week, or maybe something that they're doing, maybe yoga or some type of fitness activity, as long as it speaks to wellness. So Wellness Wednesdays, and then we also have Fun Day Fridays, right? Super fun national night out activities. Or do you remember a time you came to a program with United Parks as one? Post a pic for Fun Day Fridays. And so that will expand over the course of the time, but we're going to start with those two for now. And it'll be UPAO Wellness Wednesdays, UPAO Fun Day Fridays, because we want to make the distinction of our hashtag from everybody else's Wellness Wednesdays.
Okay.
And also, keep in mind the acronym for United Parks is One. So it's just constantly there, constantly in people's visuals, constantly in the back of their mind, because that's how the organization grows, word of mouth.
It does.
That's the fastest way to grow anything. I think if you know somebody that'll tell somebody that'll tell somebody, even if we didn't have social media, that's how things would flourish. So we want to make sure it's there psychologically and socially as well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Thanks again to Tiffany for all of the work that she's done to bring this
Yeah. Good.
Thank
Good job.
you.
to fruition. We started out working with Tiffany to do public relations and marketing work around a specific event that we're still planning, which is a tour of Jerry Gant's artwork at Nat Turner Park. And that's been a longer process than we expected. But that didn't stop Tiffany. She continued to work with us and help us to build the website on which that event will eventually be presented and promoted. And so her comments about wanting to be connected to the community are not just comments. She's proved that with her work with us, because she's certainly put in more time than we have been able to compensate her for. So we are truly thankful for her dedication, and we value her talent. Part of what we do is to try to promote through our work economic advancement. So we are really dedicated to building up our community around the parks and in general. And by community, we mean people, not just the space. and the physical aspect of it, but every aspect of community, and especially young people. So again, we're proud to have been working with you and pleased with what you've helped us accomplish.
Thank you all for choosing me, because you could have went with anybody else. But you know, I told Dr. Carla, she said, I hope this isn't too long of a process for you. I said, what? This is my hood. Are you serious? I'm gonna do anything to watch something that is in the community to help growth, stimulate growth. I'm gonna do anything to stay on board with that, because that's something positive. And I also volunteer my time at Jerry Gantz Estate with Miss Linda. So through his works, I didn't know him personally, but through his works, I've seen that community relations, period, is how you drop seeds of knowledge and watch things grow around you. So I'm all for it. You know, I'm here. And thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
And I like your Yindor. Is that a Yindor sweatshirt?
Oh yes, I'm definitely
So we
repping my
see that
friends.
you really support Yindor too. Very
Mr.
good.
Gilbert, yeah.
Yes. Very nice.
For sure. I'm all about the arts in the community, and Malcolm Rowling, Andrew Binger, like everybody is really pushing Mr. Gilbert's vision forward. So definitely have to support, you know, cross market them
That's
at
right.
any chance. I knew
That's
this was
that
going to be
community.
recorded. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Yes,
Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Carla. Bye, everyone.
Bye now. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Miss Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you. Could you put your information in the chat? Oh, she left.
Well, that was
Yeah.
great. I'm here. I'm still trying to figure out how to get what my Instagram is, because I don't remember put it on my phone. But I did following on Twitter, and I'm sure we will. The rest of us who have Twitter will, because I know all of us don't have Twitter, Donna. But it was great. It's good to know that we're out here.
Sorry, people. No, I do not have none of that. I even record nobody.
No, but I know. But we're
I'll,
gonna
I'll share the information and you guys can continue. What about that? That's the role I play. Share the information with you guys and then you.
I know, Donna. We all got a role to play.
Okay.
We all got a role to play.
I'm still on mine. Go ahead, Miss Twitter and Facebook and all that.
Instagram. I'm trying to figure out what my Instagram is, because I don't know. That's how often I go on there. So it's good to know that we're in the social media game now. So I'll just make sure that I'll try to remember to tag it every other day to get something out that I see.
So does that mean that when the flyers and stuff go on and it says like me on Facebook, this and that, so now when information goes out from United Parks is on, that will be on the bottom as well?
Yes.
That, you know, those tag things?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it
All
should
right.
be.
Yeah.
See, I know what I
So
read on the others and I can hit like, so I can send that out when I get the stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because what we have planned is to be able to increase our visibility and also accessibility. A lot of times when I'm out, and this may happen to you too, people may ask if we have a website or if
All the
we
time.
are on social media.
Mhm.
And I think I think timing in many ways works out when it should. And it seems that to me that it's better to have that presence when you have something to present.
Yeah.
And not just have the presence and be outdated or, you know, not tended to, because that sends another message that's not always a good message, right? Just to have a site, but have it be something that hasn't really had any new information since 2019. And so we're at a position now where we do have a lot of things going on, where we have a lot of relationships, where we can share other folks' information, and when people are curious to know more about us. And so I think this is happening at a good time for the organization, and it will kind of accelerate and heighten our ability to communicate with other folks and to foster communication with things like, you know, the UPA hashtag UPAO Wellness Wednesday or hashtag UPAO Friday Fun Day or Fun Day Friday. Yeah, I think that's going to give us better ability to do some things for ourselves. We rely heavily on your list, Donna, and you're getting the word out. So now we're going to be able to do some of that on our own. And with you, I mean, not that, but we
No,
just
no,
need
no.
to all.
I love
really-
it as I love it, as a tool, membership, but then also the awareness of the individual groups. They have a platform that could have a page as we grow with what they want to do or what they plan to do. So that's really like with Jesse Allen with the garden program coming up with Dana and them. So I mean, there's so much that can feed into the website, the gardens in the schools, and all of that connectivity in one spot, really leading to what the mission is. So I'm excited about. I'm dreaming already in the bubbles on how to really utilize that and highlight all of that.
But also think of it that the social media, particularly when you do YouTube a lot, social media allows you to also continue to share that information even when you're not in the meeting. And it's not just the meetings that you can post to YouTube. If there are conferences and so forth that you support, let's say the climate conference in Scotland, you weren't able to go to that, but there are YouTube videos of it or clips of it. You can actually also join that. So, and if you can even record specific sessions to put on YouTube. So let's say you speak with, what's her name, that lovely lady from the from the Conservancy. Let's say she has a few tips about how to start up greening on your fences and so forth. You can actually do a session on that right on your phone and then load it up to YouTube. So that becomes information. People get accustomed to like going to your channel to get information about certain other things. So that message of integrity and community and the usefulness of green spaces for our community, you can sell that at a higher rate with things like YouTube and even Facebook, because you can embed clips from certain things on Facebook.
Well, Dr. A, so are you a member of United Parks as one, and are you on the social media team? Well, you're the expert. So you presented yourself, so I'm putting it out there. My sister, are you that person?
As Miss Liz knows, I help everybody. The reason I know so much about social media is because our group has to learn, because we do coalition building. So we also learn along with some of the partners that
on the social media committee for United Parks as one?
I could help. I will help. I can help.
Everybody here, we're being recorded.
Okay,
So we got a liaison. That's what the community I'm talking about. When you put it out there, we can use it. So you don't got to do a lot of time, but your expertise is needed as we move forward, because I don't know nothing about it. Right? I can give dreams. I'm sorry for like taking it over, but you said that it was an ample opportunity to ask.
Yeah. No, that's no problem. And as I told you, Miss Liz will know once it's there, once I have it and it can help, I will give it my time, my connections, that sort of thing.
Yes, you do. That's you. You're that connector. You're that connector.
Yeah, who gonna ask? Okay.
And
Good.
Dina has her hand up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. The website is beautiful and the colors are vibrant, right? The yellow. What do you think of when you see yellow? Sunshine, happy, exciting, engaging, right? The green connects us with the earth, nature, natural, right? So it's so much about what United Parks is about. Colors are very, very key, and she did an excellent job portraying those colors. Also, you may want to add to the website like free tips for different activities. You were talking about the Wellness Wednesday, right? So you may want to add some free tips for wellness, right? How do you go about getting well? What does that look like? And I can help in that area. You talked about Fun Day Fridays, right? What does that look like? You know, some people, we say these things and we think of them because that's what we do, but some people have no idea. What do you do on a fun day? What does that mean? What does that entail, right? So we can come up with some ideas and some tips to do with Fun Day Friday. I know I was just, when you were talking about that, I was thinking about my grandchildren. I had kind of borrowed them from the social media thing here at grandma's house, right? So what they did was they came up with these, they made these masks, right? They put these out of paper bags. So we talked about recycling. They made a house out of cardboard paper, you know, so it's those kinds of engaging things that we want to return our families back to. When we talk about, I'm in the process of putting together some workshops on sustainability and reducing your carbon footprint, right? So what does that look like in our community? That I remember going to being invited to a cookout. This was about maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and they wanted us to bring our own fork, our own plate, our own napkin, our own cup. And I was like, that's like, you know, I don't understand that. You know, they cheap, but I understand it now because they were in the process of thinking about sustainability and recycling and using things, right? So those are the kinds of ideas and concepts and engagement that we want to also promote on our website. And those things don't cost anything. I have quite a bit of things that I'm working on for my own business that I would love to share with United Parks at One. So I'm excited about this whole process.
And perhaps put your tea time up there too, Dina.
Yes, my tea at 10. Yeah, that's fun. Yes, my tea and mocktail. Yes, that's fun. Yeah.
And I guess with the winter months coming and being shut in, that would be kind of great to have those tips. What do you do on a snowy day when the kids are home?
Right. And also just that whole, you know, people think of winter as this dead, right? You're dead. Everything is dying. But actually winter to me is one of the most active times of the season because the plants and the ground and the trees are really working on their inner game or inner growing so we can have those beautiful leaves in the springtime, right? So we can, you know, have people maybe give some tips on how not to have this winter be so gloomy and doom, you know. So those are things. And Ms. Carl, I'll give you a call one day next week, and we can maybe iron out some solid posts that we can put on for you know, getting people through the winter.
That would be great. I mean, everything you said about the Wellness Wednesdays and the Fun Day Fridays and tips for that, and maybe links to where they could go to get the direct, you know, instructions if they're needed for how do you build that house you talked about, or that would be great. And I'll also be following up with you, Dr. A, about the tips you suggested for making good use
of the social media.
Yes.
And Miss Dina, I just want to tell you that you are right on track. One of the things like what I'm doing, and this is personally, is that we had problems with our grass, not last year. And when we went to the greenhouse, the gentleman suggested to me, he says, so don't plant your grass during spring and summer. He said, at the end of fall, just in those last 2 weeks before they expect the winter, he said, dig up the earth, give it a good shaking, throw the seeds down and leave it. He says nature will take care of the rest. And I want to tell you, my lawn looked really good this year. So now that I've done it in the back, good, because I wasn't completely convinced of his logic. I hadn't heard that logic, but now I'm gonna do it in the front. And he says all that snow, or even while the ground is icy, nature takes care of those seeds and stuff.
It germinates the seeds.
And as soon as he says the grass, the seeds will tell you when spring is around the corner, not fill the the groundhog or anything. He said the seeds will tell you. You'll start seeing your little babies sprouting. once it's warming, yeah.
Yes.
There's a whole mindset around connecting nature with growth in personality and concept, mindset and things. So, we can add those things to our site. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Very good.
Great. Okay. Anything else, ladies? Okay. Our next monthly meeting will be Saturday, December 18th, same time, from 10 to 11:30. Does anyone have any announcements?
Normal thing, I want to invite all of you, if you can, if your schedule allows, to our community board, the Newark CTC's community board meeting on December 15th from 1 to 2:30. And we're hoping to have, he's confirmed, but he's still shaking. So we're hoping to have Detective Prospero on, and because he's going to be talking about internet and internet fraud, internet scams, and being safe on the internet. I don't like to think internet security because everybody gets very,
Social media security.
but no, so not just social media security, because one thing that has happened because of COVID is now we have a lot of virtual platforms for stuff, because people are rightfully cautious or afraid to do too much of personal interaction. So it has mean almost everything has pivoted to an online or internet virtual digital presence. So a lot of people are going on, and like everything else, people are taking advantage of people's naivete or innocence with the platforms. So he is able to just point out certain things, or certain things that you could look for and almost immediately tell when it's a scam, when it's wrong, how to protect yourself from people stealing your information and stuff like that. The thing about it is you need to know it because your kids are, because youth, whether it's your children, grandchildren, or just youth you supervise are online, and sometimes you can be as careful as ever, and they connect with you and they bring something on. So stuff like that. We thought it was important, since everybody is on a virtual platform at some point, that they know about some of this stuff so that they can move forward in 2022 safely.
You're gonna send a flyer out for us?
I I will. I
Okay,
usually do. So I'm hoping that it can fit into one or two of your schedules, and we will be able to see you then.
Okay, great. My announcement is World AIDS Day is December 1st. There will be two events that I know of. One is going to be at the library, and the other is going to be at the Cancer Center, 205 South Orange Avenue. And once I get the flyers up, I'll send them out. Send it to Donna. Donna will put it, I'm sure she'll put it out. I have to check and see if Terry.
And put it on the website, on the UPA website, and both of y'all.
And the gram.
And the
you have to
Twitter
put it
and
on the
all that.
gram.
Okay.
You got all that. Y'all do that, and then send me my flyer.
Okay.
Miss Liz, is that the one that Aaron sent us?
Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron is at the library. Travis is at the Cancer Center.
All right. So I got the one from Aaron, but not from Travis.
I have to check and see if he sent it because it wasn't quite ready when I spoke to him the other night. I told him, you guys got to get together, have one event. We got to stop separating our groups.
That's right.
What'd she say, Kirk?
I said, that's right.
Yeah.
Like
Dr.
separate groups.
Resend me Aaron's because I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
But I have to go look at my internet, look at my emails to see if Travis has sent me his.
Okay.
All right. And I think that's it.
One more announcement. Marcia Hurd from ACA Creates, they're the organization that presented the Young Harriet Tubman play. earlier in the year, I believe that was in March,
Yes.
she's interested in organizing a group of people to do a training experience at University Hospital in adult, child, and infant first aid, CPR, and AED and choking training.
Wow.
And if anybody's interested in that and would like to participate, let me know, because well, she needs to know, and United Parks is one could help defray some of the cost, because we want to make sure that we have people who are trained in these sorts of things when we have events, so we can help keep folks safe who come out. So
Does
if you'd
she
like,
have a flyer? Does she
she
have a
doesn't even
flyer?
have a date yet. She's just trying to see who might be interested, and then take it from there. So it's not something that's already been set up. I think she was just trying to send out feelers to see if enough people would be interested that they could try to schedule a class just for them.
I have, speaking just the other day, someone asked me about it. So I know I have 2 people from my site that would be interested. We
Yeah,
just,
I'm interested also, Miss Carla.
I'm so,
I said I'm interested as well. You can send me the information. I'd appreciate it.
okay. So we'll, help with the cost for people that are involved with UPAO, and I'll ask her if other people can come too. I would think so, because that would help make up the group, but they would have to provide their own funding to participate. She said it
So,
costs about
so
37.
without a flyer, Miss Carla, if she doesn't have a flyer, you have my email. Can you get her to email me exactly what you just said, so that I can pass the email to
People.
my several people
Mhm.
who I know will have, one of them being a social worker with the Keene University. They have the students doing child psychology and stuff like that. That might be helpful. That might be useful to them.
It would be great once it does happen though, Carla, that may be a whole, disseminating it out to a larger group. Once I guess she goes through that to find out what courses, and even, for regular community people, teachers or whatever, daycares, that maybe then United Parks is one, whoever can advocate for scholarships for community
Yeah.
members for the course, you know what I mean? That won't have the funds. Once you get it together, that would be, I think, really like a June or Charlize or whoever, you know what I mean? Getting scholarships to help community folks that might.
And just remember, since you all are going to be, since United Parks is one, maybe putting forward a little seed money for this, that you need to record it. So remind her that it may probably be recorded, so that she can craft it accordingly.
okay, makes sense. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, ladies?
Powerful thing.
Okay. Thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I want and hope that everyone has a good week and a great weekend. Those who celebrate Thanksgiving and National Day of Mourning, which is Friday. So with that, we're going to have a moment.
No, I don't want to wait, but before we go, I wanted to say before we get off that one announcement, I forgot that Dina is finally partnering with the Trust for Public Land and Newark Public Schools to spearhead this curriculum around community and school gardens. So it's been 2 years running that we've been trying, and it didn't happen. And so we do have pilot funds, and Dina will be doing that. So even, I'm looking at how to create it, puts things together to weave. And so United Parks is one, the schools, the programs, on the website, like all of these real things that's happening is right in the midst. So I just wanted to
congratulations, Dina.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited. It's a, I was just telling my sister the other day, there's power in the spoken word, right? Because when I retired from Newark Public Schools, I said the only way that I will go back is if I go back and I have a garden to teach from and teach teachers how to teach from a garden. and that's what's happening. So I'm appreciative. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I think gardening connected to a classroom in a community is vital, especially after what we've been through for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So
What schools are you at? What schools are you at?
Well, inshallah, it'll be at Louise A. Spencer first. I
Good.
think that's the pilot. And then there's several other schools that we're going to take that pilot and implement into those schools.
That is
So
fantastic.
we'll be coming up with best practices. So it's not every time we go into a school, it's reinventing the wheel. It's all about empowering the teachers. As I say, and I'll continue to say, don't wait until I get there to have a lesson. This garden is a resource for you. Just like you have computer resources, technology, like teachers had to include technology in their curriculum now, it's the same thing. I'm going to show them how to embed garden activities in their curriculum. That's my goal.
Oh, that's fantastic. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats. And Dina, well, now, we have another project that's supposed to launch in the spring of 2022 that would align with some of that. So definitely, again, I could bring resources we can do that joining thing. Miss Liz, you know, I do that joining
Yes,
thing.
you do.
These people are doing that. Let's make it work together.
Absolutely.
So maybe if you're contacting these so that at that point we could talk to each other, because the meeting I was at, there are a lot of like-minded people like you, and it would be in the south ward of Newark. So same space.
I'm going to put my information in the chat to contact.
Get that money, get the money. South Ward and West Ward is the one that they really focusing on a lot, you know, but we got to like shout about the other ones, but yeah.
Yeah. No, nothing
That's
exists
going on.
in a bubble.
Nope.
It's all
Right.
connected.
We got to break it down and show people that. So we're doing it. Very
All right.
good.
Anything else, ladies, before we sign off?
Just thanks to everybody for coming. Thank you, Ms. Tina. Thank you, Dr. A. Thank you, Ms. Barbara, for being with us today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Happy holiday
Welcome.
season.
Yes, take care. And Dr. Francis, I look forward to hearing from you.
All right, we will be in touch, I guarantee. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays if I don't see you again.
Same to
Have a
you.
great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.